Hi there, Corby Midlight, your no bullshit psychic. And tonight we're going to look at spirit guides and angels. Okay, why do we have spirit guides in the first place? Because in the greater scheme of things, if you will, there are beings who volunteer to help humans make it through this crazy incarnation that we have. They are benevolent. They want us to learn what we need to learn down here, grow spiritually. But there is a difference between spirit guides and angels, even though they are both guides for us. So let me try and explain the difference. Do you remember in math class what a Venn diagram was? You had two circles and then right in the middle, there was overlap. Well, the Venn diagram for spirit guides and angels is a donut. In the donut middle, that's angels. We each have at least one. They are with us from birth to death. It's like they have our names in the back of their tunics like camp tags. I belong to John. I belong to Mary. On the other hand, spirit guides grow and change as we do. You don't have the same teacher from kindergarten to PhD. And there is no specific time. It's not they're here for 1 year or 2 years. They're here as long as you need them. And then if you grow, they may move aside and a new one comes in. In my case, the very first spirit guide I was aware of was a German pilot named Karl Emil Schaefer that 2 incarnations ago I flew with in World War I. It makes perfectly logical sense that my first spirit guide would be someone that I knew had my back and would save my life as needed. So that was in the beginning. Since I have grown, Karl Emil has moved aside, though there is still contact with him. And the main guide I use is my guardian angel, Baruchiel. Now, there have been other guides. There was a Northern Arapaho chief that came in all of a sudden about 15 years ago and worked with me for a while. And I knew nothing about the Arapaho tribe at all. Nothing. One guide that still comes in on occasion is my own father. Dad was a wonderful cardiologist when he was alive. And on the occasions when I am asked to do medical intuitive work, if it's cardiac, Dad comes in. Now, how did I know I had these people? Well, I knew my dad. When he comes in, he still has a terrible ability to pun. And the compassion and the real cardiac genius understanding, that's all still there. With the Arapaho chief, remember, I knew nothing about them. But the name I got and all of the details, when I went and checked in a history book, it was all there. So I accepted that, yes, for a couple of years, he came in as a guide. So those are important things to know. But remember, when you work with your guide, they're not there to tell you whether to go to the Greek or the Italian restaurant or whether to buy the red car or the blue car. They are there specifically to help you with spiritual growth. Okay? And there are certain things that a spirit guide will not do. And I want to tell you about that right away. In fact, I'm going to read the ones that I have in my book, The Psychic Yellow Brick Road, because there's a whole chapter on this. I felt it was that important. Okay? A spirit guide will never chasten you, put you down, or say mean things to you. It will never pump up your ego at the expense of somebody else. It will never try to guilt you into doing something. It will never encourage you to do something that you know is illegal, immoral, harmful, or against your highest good. Something your gut knows is wrong. If you ever hear something like that, get rid of it. That is possibly your ego. Could be a different entity. Remember, that's why we need a ground center and shield. And we're going to talk a little bit about psychic protection as we go. So that's a very brief explanation of why spirit guides are with us and a little taste of what they can be. We're going to start work now with other questions about how they work with us, would they abandon us, all kinds of things like that. Because spirit guides, it's, you've heard me refer to Chris the Blue Rose Mystic as my wingman, the guy that has my back when I do my lives. Spirit guides and angels, they're your wingman too. Okay? Now, remember, tomorrow night is not going to be the live. I had to move that to Friday. So tomorrow night we'll talk a little more about spirit guides. Friday night we'll do our live free reading hour. Okay? See you soon.